Why I unironically love the Euro 2016 final. France were significant favorites for this tournament. I know I'm only showing the Portugal odds for the TalkSport one, but France were number 1. Portugal were number 7. They were number 7 with Big On Sports, whatever that website is. I think this stuff on the bottom here which has FanDuel and William Hill, that is from Forbes. I found this on the Forbes website. And yeah, France favorites. Portugal, at least for FanDuel, not until number 7, plus 900, which pretty much means you're not heavy favorites. They were a little higher up on William Hill's, but in general, not really that big of favorites for this tournament. If you do like video essays, I did make a TikTok about this game on my TikTok page. Check that TikTok out, minute and a half. I think it's pretty good. You have black screen here because, well, we're gonna talk about the group stages at first, because Portugal at this tournament,
sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
It didn't go well. Let's just say that. It didn't go well, really. Starting off, they played against Iceland. They drew 1-1. Not a great result from them in this tournament. Quite a bit of missed chances from Portugal. And Ronaldo did have some salty comments after this match. Incredible salt, honestly, because he hit out at small Iceland after Portugal were held. This is what he said. Iceland didn't try anything. They were just defend, and playing on the counterattack. It was a lucky night for them. We should have had 3 points, but we are okay. I thought they'd won the Euros the way they celebrated at the end. It was unbelievable. When they don't try to play and just defend, this, in my opinion, shows a small mentality, and they are not going to do anything in the competition. English fans, unfortunately, heard different. And the defend part, I find that kind of ironic because, you know, Portugal played like that throughout lots of the tournament. But there's nothing wrong with defending in tournaments, like, especially from Iceland, who were the minnows in this tournament. But in the second match of the tournament, where they played against Austria, you know, Ronaldo, all this talk, one of the best players in the world, you know, you can choose who's your favorite, but him or Messi, good choices, to be honest. But in the second match, they drew 0-0. Ronaldo had a penalty. I believe he hit the post, as this picture is insinuating. And it did remind me of something from that came out before this tournament, and I think a lot of people made memes about it as well. There was this Nike ad. Nike Football presents the Switch. I feel like it's a good time to watch this commercial back after 5 years. I don't think I've seen it since then. Let me know if you remember this commercial. Ronaldo wakes up. Is it really Ronaldo? Now, just imagine you wake up and you're Ronaldo. I think that's just a dream. Nike really knows how to make a good ad. But this was Ronaldo at Euro 2016. Through determination, Ronaldo kept practicing and it actually became good again. Memes came out like the kid took Ronaldo's skills. I'm pretty sure it was like a 4-4 Tunes video where it had that reference as well. Give me back my shooting skills! You get the picture though. The initial part of that commercial, that was Ronaldo at the Euros. Only 2 points out of 2 games for Portugal. Going to the third game against Hungary. Before the Hungary game, there's this infamous moment which I genuinely think is hilarious. Oh. Some guy comes up, Ronaldo, are you ready for today's game? Ronaldo chucks a microphone into a lake. Oh my gosh. He always does something at every tournament. This current Euros, of course, it was the Coca-Cola bottles. This one, it was just chucking a guy's microphone into a lake. Of course, in that last game, it was a wild group game for Hungary and Portugal. Game did end up finishing 3-3. I forgot to get a picture here, damn it. But a nuts game. Portugal finished third in their group with 3 points. Hungary topped their group. Iceland got second. And in most Euros, third place, you're out of the tournament. It'd be a disaster. Portugal fans in shambles. It's just not a good sight. But this Euros got extended to 24 teams. 4 best third place sides advanced. And Portugal, of course, was one of those best third place sides. Just on goal differential, but, you know, they didn't lose, but they didn't win either. But with Portugal finishing third in this group and advancing to the round of 16, they did relatively well. Like round of 16, they defeated Croatia in the 117th minute. And in the quarterfinal against Poland, they unfortunately defeated my Poland in a shootout. I was devastated after this game, very sad, just sad. Of course, Portugal scored all the penalties while Poland didn't. To this day, I still am a little salty about it because I think if Poland won the shootout, they could have made the Euro final. I think they could have beaten the next opponent, which we'll talk about in a second. Another thing I want to mention about Poland is that they chose to shoot last in the shootout. They against Switzerland in the round before and in this game as well. They won the coin toss both times. They chose to shoot last, which is a little controversial. Not controversial, but a little questionable because usually you're under more pressure if you're shooting last. Portugal advanced to the semi-final where they would be criticized. I would say where they would play their next opponent, but no, they were criticized quite often in this tournament. Maybe for good reason, maybe for not, but up to this point, Portugal did not win a single game in 90 minutes. They either drew, which they did with all their group games, or they'd get the win in extra time or in the penalty shootout like in the knockout stage matches. And I bring up the Spencer FC tweet because shame to see Poland go out, I know. Fair play to Portugal for getting through. They're going to have to win in 90 minutes eventually though. Surely? We'll see. But the next criticism, they were a little boring to watch. They weren't the most exciting. I mean, they had some good moments like the 3-3 against Hungary. Like, yes, that's exciting. But Fernando Santos, their manager, is more of a defensive manager, really. And it's fair enough. You want to win in international tournaments, you need to be able to defend well. It's just wasn't the most entertaining, and it's probably why they did get a bit of hate throughout the tournament. The final reason why they got criticized? Ronaldo haters. Anything that's related to Ronaldo, they'll get criticized because of Ronaldo because they just don't like Cristiano Ronaldo, which I'm not going to say fair enough because it's a dumb reason to hate on something. But moving on to the semi-final where Portugal defeated Wales 2-0. Going to this game, Portugal were probably the favorites. Wales were missing Aaron Ramsey in this game. They might have been missing someone else as well. But goals from Ronaldo and Nani in a space of 3 minutes gave Portugal a 2-0 victory, and deservedly so. They made the final. Talking about their opponents for the final. Well, here's the lead up for them. France. Well, they won their first 2 group games against Romania and Albania. To be fair, both they were pushed to the end of the time. I think France got a penalty against Romania. Against Albania, they didn't score until very late in the match. Against Switzerland, they did draw 0-0. I mean, it didn't really matter. They were through. The round of 16 against Ireland, it didn't start out well for them. Ireland scored in like the 2nd minute, I believe, but France did score 2 goals later on in the match, and Ireland did get a red card. Unfortunate for the Irish, they couldn't get revenge over 2010 World Cup qualifications. In the quarterfinals, they defeat Iceland 5-2. Iceland, who, of course, Jacob, you won't like that. They defeated England in one of the biggest shocks in tournament history. And in the semifinals, Germany were defeated by France 2-0. France relatively solid throughout the tournament. Antoine Griezmann was having the tournament of his life. This was well before his incidents that just recently came out where he mocked Asians, which isn't ideal. He was scoring goals for France. Didn't have the toxicity like he has had at Barcelona. 6 goals, he was the top goal scorer of the tournament. You can see the rest of the names there. Ronaldo, 3 goals, not bad. Giroud was solid. Payet, who remembers Dimitri Payet, man? That guy was a baller. Nani as well. Morata was actually pretty decent at this tournament. And of course, Gareth Bale with 3 goals. Those were the top scorers of the tournament because none of those players would score in the final. It would be Portugal versus France in the final. France, heavily favorites. This was their lineup. Giroud, Payet, Griezmann, Sissoko, who was immense in this tournament, honestly. And in this game, he was just driving Portugal at them and having a fantastic game. Matuidi and Pogba combo, fantastic, honestly. Before N'Golo Kante, but still solid there. Evra, Umtiti, Koscielny, Sagna. Umtiti, there's memes about him because he's going to Barcelona, so people put like a mashup of him and Puyol, which was just awful to look at. Portugal lineup: Rui Patricio, Cedric Soares, who's now on Arsenal, Pepe, Jose Font, who were both having fantastic tournaments. Rafael Guerreiro, William Carvalho, Andre Silva, Renato Sanches. He was having a breakthrough tournament as well. He had a great season for Benfica prior to this, had a big move to Bayern. He was having a great time. João Mario, I remember him moving to Inter. He was supposedly supposed to be a great midfielder for them. Absolutely flopped, went to the Russian league. I'm not quite sure where he is now. Maybe back at Portugal, to be honest. Of course, Nani and Cristiano Ronaldo. That was the lineups. Stage perfectly set for Cristiano Ronaldo to shine, perform in this final. Griezmann, though, player of the tournament by far. What would happen in this game? Well, a lot of crappy shots, as you see here. Very poor shots throughout this match. And this was the big moment. Payet crashes into Ronaldo. He does get the ball, but Ronaldo is feeling it in his knee. Fernando Santos concerned, but Ronaldo obviously looks like he's having a terrible time. And this was point number 2 here. Terrible strikes, which I did mention in the TikTok. But also Rui Patricio, man. This guy had an insane match. This is just one example of the saves he made. Ronaldo, he's trying to play on. He's trying his best. Ronaldo, he goes down once again. You think, oh no, it is all over for him. But Ronaldo's like, no, I need to try. I have to go. This is for my country. And Ronaldo's like, no, it's done. It's over. Can't go on. He throws his armband on the ground. Ronaldo, of course, absolutely devastated, in tears, understandably so. This was a huge moment for him, and he needed to get stretchered off. You think, that's the end of Cristiano Ronaldo. That's the end of Portugal. Portugal have no chance left in this match. Sissoko is balling out of his mind. France are too strong. There were moths all over the pitch in this match. The day before or the night before, they accidentally forgot to turn off the lights in the stadium or something like that. Here's the man. This was the game changer. How many of you thought this man coming on would change the match? Probably less than 1%. What happens next? Oh my gosh. Oh my. Inches away from making history for himself, Gignac the Big Mac from Tigres. The moment later is amazing, but a last minute winner like this would have been one of the best, if not the best Euro moment you would see. There's what if moments in football, but inches can make such a difference. Like at this current Euros, we saw Lukaku inches away from making it a goal, but Spinazzola blocked the shot. Like things like that can be such a huge difference in the sport. With this shot hitting the post and Griezmann unable to get the rebound, the game ended and went to extra time. Okay, now I want to actually listen to this Alan Shearer talking about the game and the tournament in general, because this was the vibe, really.
Sort of sums the tournament up for me, if I'm honest. Pretty dull, pretty boring. But France, without playing particularly well, have had the chances to have won that game, to have won the tournament. They haven't had them. They may regret that.
Yeah, you got the vibe. The matches in tournament wasn't great. This match in general wasn't great either. There were some good chances, of course, but a bit of a struggle for a lot of people to watch. But we have to remember, not all finals are great football matches. Ronaldo back, hyping up his team, motivating them. I mean, I think this was a great thing for Portugal, honestly. Like, Ronaldo being there, I think that just boosted them up a little bit. How can it not? And you see Ronaldo, Ronaldo, you got a knee injury. What are you doing? You can see Ronaldo striking this free kick. That might have been a big game changer, to be honest, with what we see later. It hit the post, very close, almost a great free kick there. But we see there, Lloris, he smashed against the post there. And I remember the pundits after the game talking about how he was not feeling 100% right after that. I think he was moving a little weirdly. So I think he did like tweak something in that attempt of a save. Next up, you guys know what's coming up though. One of the greatest moments in Euros history is up next.
Wriggles free of Koscielny. And then shot! Super strike! Eder smashes Portugal onto the verge of glory. The start of race stunned, but for a huge pocket of Portuguese.
I just love that moment, man. The last guy you'd expect to score a goal scores a strike from 30 yards out like that, takes the lead for Portugal, and as we'll see here, wins them the Euros. Ronaldo becomes the coach, and we see Coach Ronaldo at his finest. This was the last chance for France, but they were offside, and that is it. I don't know. I'm not a Ronaldo fanboy. I genuinely like Messi more than Ronaldo, but I love this moment. I love this final. I love everything about it. Well, other than the match in general, because it wasn't the best match in the world, but I just love like the storylines around it. People bashing Portugal throughout this tournament, saying they don't deserve to be here, which you can make an argument saying that's true, but if you get to the final, I think you deserve it. And the odds against them, they weren't the favorites to make it. They probably shouldn't have gone out of the group. Or it's crazy seeing a third place team make the final, because in normal tournaments, that's not the case. Of course, this Euro is now the norm. The injury. Nobody expected Portugal to be able to have any sort of hope after that Ronaldo injury. Their best player out of the game, subbed off. They fight, they stay in the game. Rui Patricio stands on his head. And a great strike from Eder, a player with 3 goals for Portugal. for this match. Only 3. You'd only score, I think, 6 in his career. That was all they needed, and apparently why I unironically love this Euros.